Welcome to a truly special edition of Boys Night In. We're just going to present to you a story. This is my good friend Gabe, who I've known for many years. I've known Gabe since we were like fucking kindergarten. I've known Gabe for fucking forever. I think Gabe is a great storyteller. I love Gabe's stories. Gabe tells me great stories and crazy stories and tells them very well. And now we have all personally come into contact with a crazy story. And Gabe is the closest to the story out of everyone and has the first-hand perspective. And I just wanted to present that information and that story to everyone. I don't really know the story yet. I've tried to avoid hearing about it all day. I know things here and there, but I don't really know the story. So I'm just gonna let you tell your story, and I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna be me. And I'm gonna drink my Truly.
All right. So you could also call this special "How to Get Over a Breakup," because there's a lot of them. So this all starts about January this year. I meet this guy on Kingdom Hearts Twitter, and that was my first mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, all right, yeah, you're cool. He's from Chicago. It's close by, like literally like, a 30-minute drive. So I'm hanging out with this guy. He seems normal. And then what should have been the first red flag is, I got a crazy girlfriend. I'm like, yes, of course.
Don't they all?
Mm-hmm. So go on and on and on. Mid-May, he gets kicked out by his girlfriend. I figure, I'm like, hey, I got some extra money. I got some space. Come stay at my place. Get your life together after that shit, get a job,
shit.
Fucking move on.
Helpful, regular person shit.
Yeah, just normal shit you would do for
regular,
a friend.
nice guy, Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. My friends are my power.
Everybody on Kingdom Hearts Twitter will do this for their friends.
Absolutely, they will.
Right after they meet them, because that's the spirit that Sora has instilled all of us with.
He has. Good for him. Miss you.
Mm-hmm. Good night. They should do a scene in the Kingdom Hearts 4 where it's like the Pooh one where his spirit flies out, but that's like the ending of 4 and it's Sora's spirit and it just flies away and then it cuts to black and that's it.
Nomura would do it. I wouldn't put it past him.
I hope he would do it.
But yeah, normal Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit. Just like help a friend out, get them back on their feet. Send them on their way.
Mm-hmm. That's what Sora did every world.
Every world he went to, exactly what he did. I'll do that for him every time, I guess. That's my baby boy.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
So, he comes into my place where my family lives because, none of them make money, so they stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's upset about it because... she's a mom. She gets upset. That's what they do.
Regular Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit.
Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit. She doesn't understand what having friends in this era means.
She doesn't know. She's never played Kingdom Hearts. She just wouldn't get it. She doesn't get what friendship is.
Nah, she doesn't know what a PlayStation is.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt your chances of understanding friendship severely. It's so tough to understand friendship if you don't have a PlayStation with a PlayStation Plus account and access to the internet.
Never would have paid for that her whole life.
Nope.
So he's in there, he gets all his shit there. I'm like, alright man, start putting in them job applications. It's super easy. We live in an area that there's only stores. So it would be super easy for him to do it. And about 2 weeks into living with me, he's like, hey, do you want a date?
Fuck yeah.
Me, I'm just like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm like, you know what?
Nothing better to do.
I've been out of it for a minute.
Back in the game.
I'm like, sure. Because we're already fucking.
Yeah.
So, because it's what you do with your friends.
You just did, that's what, because Sora did that every world he went to.
This is Winnie the Pooh, Atlantica, fucking Jack Skellington's
every
house.
Single one.
Every single
regular
one.
Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit.
Yep, yeah, we're
everybody is fucking
everyone's
Kingdom
fucking
Hearts Twitter.
all squirming all over each other like a bunch of snakes. Just, yep.
Everybody on Kingdom Hearts Twitter either got the body of Pete or the body of the nobodies.
Everyone's like
the little noodly shitty bodies, or they got the body of Pete, the weird dog man from Goofy World.
So I'm like, yeah, alright, fine. Cool. In the meantime, also, he is starting to date 2 other people on Kingdom Hearts Twitter, which is fine, because I ain't got a problem, if you're polyamorous, that's cool. If you got that free love shit, that's good.
Do you, boo-boo?
Yeah. Exactly.
Get your shit in.
Yeah, I meet these other 2 people, they seem cool in the beginning. One of them's like an art student from New York City, because that's all they got there. Fucking one of them's from Oregon who works at a hotel, because
That's all they got there.
Yeah, that one person who lives in Oregon, and he's that one.
Yeah, everyone else is just passing through.
So, you know, we're all cool together. It's fine. About 2 weeks in, he tells me, he's like, you know, I feel like we shouldn't be dating right now. Like, you know, with my past, you know, experience, I don't feel comfortable living. Yeah, the past. He's like, I'm not comfortable with who, you know, I'm not comfortable living with who I'm dating right now. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's understandable. Like, if your girlfriend was as bad as you said she is, the red flag. Mm-hmm. But because I'm stupid, and I immediately love everyone who becomes my friend. I'm
You're
just
stupid.
like,
This Kingdom Hearts Twitter shit. Everybody is stupid then.
Everyone's stupid. So I'm like, all right, understandable. Like, we're still friends. Like, it's fine. You know. Keep on moving along and everything, but he wants to keep fucking, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, gotta keep that in the deal, but remove all the other parts.
yeah, I'm just like, because he'd already been into some shit that I was like immediately uncomfortable with. Like, he wanted me to call him a dog. He wanted me to call him a bunch of derogatory shit. I'm just like, you know, if you're into that, like, I don't give a shit. But also, you know, he was also feeding me this whole backstory about how, like, his family abused him for 1,000 years. So I was like, I'm not gonna enable that shit. Like, I give a fuck about you. I'm not gonna call you all that shit.
Yeah.
So he'd get mad when I wouldn't do it. He'd get real mad. Like, he'd just be like, nah, fuck it. Like,
oh man, I'm not hard anymore because you didn't call me one of the dogs.
Yeah, really. He's like, yeah, if you ever find his not safe for work Twitter, if it hasn't been fucking blasted off the fucking internet yet, he does talk about, he's like, man, I always nut the hardest when I'm being called a stupid dog. And I'm like, whatever happens, I guess.
I always nut the hardest. A sentence that just opens with "I always nut the hardest" can't end good. The end of that sentence, no matter what you say, is foul. That's a disgusting sentence.
Yeah, I always nut the hardest when my dad puts the corn on the grill.
Yeah, no matter what you say, it's bad.
It's bad. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna keep. Unless you decide to start being a little bit more normal, I'm gonna have to say no on that one. Just to kind of keep the health good between us. Mm-hmm. So he immediately becomes like real distant. Like anytime I talk to him, he like is kind of halfway ignoring me and is like, like, you know, that shit.
On your phone.
Yeah, on your phone. What the fuck? I know you ain't got games on that shit.
He ain't got games on his phone, bro. He wasn't playing Snake for months.
Must have been doing something because that bitch didn't get a job the whole time he lived with me. 3 months, no job.
Playing some type of snake, you know what I'm saying? Playing a different type of snake on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just wait till I tell you about them pictures I found.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know about the pictures.
Yeah. So, you know, he's getting distant. He's getting a little agitated every time I talk to him. He seems to talk to me with that, like, you're stupid tone of voice. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here now?
Yeah.
I get if you're getting kind of like shitty moody about whatever, and then also I had just helped him get on testosterone. He's trans. So, you know, I helped him get on testosterone. I figure I'm like, you know, you're starting your puberty again. You're getting a little fucking like, you're hungry, you're tired, you're a fucking big bitch. Like, you know.
You big hungry. Come on, bitch. I know you hungry. You breathing heavy as hell. I know you mad.
Just like a dog. You're right.
There's just 2 pennies on the floor and keep kicking. I'm gonna put them on the table so I can stop.
Yeah.
Those are
Keep them there.
Those are good right there.
Yeah, they're lucky.
That's my tip for the bartender for my 2 Trulies. It's 2 cents.
So, you know, I figure, what the hell, you know? So I take him out one night, and we go out almost nightly, because we always just drive, because there's nothing in Indiana.
You just drive.
You just drive because there's corn on one side, nothing on the other side, the entire state. So we go there.
Listen to Midwestern emo and blast down
Yeah,
the
we
road.
sure do, because he's playing the fucking Black Parade on loop. The entire, like, 2 hours we're driving.
And you have to enjoy it?
Dude, it's the only music we got, that or Taylor Swift. It's all we got here.
Legally, that's what you have to listen to when you're driving by Nothing Road and Corn Road.
Yeah, and then when you pass the fucking Tractor Supply.
Once you pass that, you have to legally switch.
Yeah,
which one you're
Taylor Swift,
to.
if you don't get our song on the fucking radio within, like, half a second, you are taken out on site.
They have
And
people,
that's a fact.
they have cops always hiding right behind the Tractor Supply store. They're ready to, it's basically like a checkpoint, you know what I'm saying?
is.
You don't want to go past that.
Yeah, T Swift.
Going the speed limit, not listening to the right music.
Yep, so we driving out there all the time. And I take him out tonight, we go get some fucking food, we go fucking sit down in an abandoned church parking lot, you know, as you do when you're eating McDonald's at 3 in the morning.
Chilling.
And I start talking to him like, hey man, like shit's been kind of like weird between us since like the whole breakup thing, you know, like I just want to like clear the air, like if you got like a problem, you know, just tell me about it, you know.
If you got a problem.
If you got a problem, tell me about it, because I feel like we're not talking on like the same page anymore, right? You know,
Yeah.
like you're kind of talking to me like I'm stupid.
Regular
like, I don't know
people
how to
shit,
respond
yeah.
to that because I'm not stupid
Yeah.
in the normal sense. I am stupid in like the just being alive sense.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah,
academically,
for sure. Yeah.
I know some shit.
Yeah.
I know about mitochondria. You know.
Bro, I know what's in your wrist.
Yeah, I know that shit in there. You got bones.
Bro, stop. I can know
You got at least one femur in here.
I'm aware of anatomy.
I ain't stupid. So I'm telling him, I'm just like, I'm trying to avoid using like you made me. I'm trying to like not be super confrontational to get him mad. I'm just like, you know, I feel like we haven't been communicating. Like I'm trying to be a good friend.
Nice.
I'm trying my hardest because I'm like,
dude.
I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm still trying. And he's like, he immediately gets super defensive. He's like, listen, bitch. It was very much like,
listen,
bitch. He's like, I'm not your fucking therapist, man. Like, you shouldn't be talking to me about shit like this. Like,
shit about
shit about our friendship.
Yeah. You shouldn't talk to me about our friendship.
No. So he's saying like all this shit like over and over. He's like, you know, the responsibility, your happiness ain't on me. Like it's shitty that you're talking to me about this right now. And I'm sitting there on my side of the car.
While I'm trying to eat my nuggets.
Yeah, I got a fucking like 2 fries halfway down my fucking throat, and I'm like, what is happening? What's happening in this fucking Lutheran parking lot?
That's goofball shit.
It is. I was like, goofy, like.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to do this, man. Like, I'm sorry if I'm coming across, like, this way. Like, I'm just really trying to fucking, you know, get things evened out between us because it's been kind of weird.
Yeah, and you live together.
Yeah, I see him every goddamn day.
You don't want it to be uncomfortable for, you know what I'm saying? Normal people shit.
Yeah, and it just, like, it didn't get resolved ever because he was just like, I just think you need to go to therapy. And I'm just like, I mean...
For what? For like...
Normally, yes, I would agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, but in this, for this specific thing?
For having a friend and having kind of an argument with him.
I gotta go to therapy because I had an argument with one of my friends one time. And it fucked me up for eons.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I fucking guess I should. And also, like, we need to stop, like, talking weird. Like, if you got a problem, just tell me. Just the same as, like, when I got a problem, clearly I'm telling you, even though you're not fucking really taking it. So, we move on past that. You know, that was like late June. Right after your birthday party, the first time I brought him over here, we had that conversation.
All right, so I guess let me interject here. I know this person as well. Why are we... Their name is Senbei. Fuck it. I just realized that we never dropped the name until now. Their name is Senbei. He comes over. It's my birthday party. I'm having a bunch of people over. Of course, I invite Gabe over, as I do to all big parties. I'm like, Gabe, come through. Gabe comes through, and Gabe's like, hey, I'm bringing a friend. Absolutely. Anybody you bring, but I don't give a fuck. Totally trust your judgment.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be. This is the apology.
yeah, this is the apology tour, you're right.
Yeah, this is what makes up for everything. So, it's my birthday party. It's already been going on for a little bit, I think. I'm already drinking. I'm already hanging out. Already people over, music playing. Gabe shows up. I'm like, fuck yeah, Gabe is here with a friend who I've never met. Cool. Dude comes in, one of the first things he says, he calls me bitch. I don't remember what the sentence even was, but it ended with like bitch. He called me bitch immediately, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. I was like, damn, I just knew this motherfucker for 4 seconds. He just walked in my own house on my birthday party and called me a bitch to my face. I was like, I appreciate that energy. Other than that, pretty normal weird dude. You know what I'm saying? Normal weird fucking guy. Said a lot of weirdo shit. was kind of rude, but it was kind of funny to me. So I didn't care. Like the rudeness was just like, yeah, that's pretty funny. And like it's not like harmful rudeness. It's just like it's just overall weird, gross rudeness. Like burping super loud constantly. Like and like I don't give a fuck. But I'm just like, I just objectively recognize, like, that's weird, Bruto. Like, that's fucking this is goofball behavior, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it was obnoxious. Like, objectively obnoxious, just super loud, a lot, all the time. And, like, literally, one point he was like, sorry if you're offended by me burping the punch, I don't give a fuck. Like, he would be like that. Like, he had that energy all the time. Like, I'm going to be a piece of shit if I want to be. And if you don't like that, fuck it. Which I appreciate to some extent, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, normal, cool dude, bullshitter for sure. Most of the stories he told, I was like, you're full of shit, but I don't give a fuck, we're drinking. Tell your fake stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't care. I got stories that are probably half fake at this point, you know, you forget. Right. So I know I could tell these were regular lies, but I was like, hey, I don't give a fuck. A story's a story. I love a story, don't care. So never really called him out on weirdo stories, just regular, cool guy. I was like, hey, we added each other on Pokemon Go, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, we followed each other on Twitter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Normal.
Friendship of the modern
exactly,
era.
Yeah, we got into a modern, regular acquaintanceship, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you're cool. Anytime you want to come over with Gabe, fucking come over, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up. It was all good. We conversed a little on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Got our jokes in, had a good time. I guess that's where my first meeting really ended up.
Yeah. So pretty normal up to that point. We have that conversation a couple days afterwards. You know, still a little rocky there, but like for the most part, he kind of like turns over and is like pretty nice again. Mm-hmm. You know, consistently, and like less kind of like the "you're stupid" tone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, so I guess we're good now.
Yeah, see, like, the whole thing is weird because I'm like, I never got a vibe of, like, them being weird to you when I saw you. I only ever saw Senbei with you, so that's the only way I knew him.
So
it's the only way I knew him was through you and with you, but I never caught, like, I never caught uncomfortableness. I never caught like him being angry. Like he always seemed. Yeah. The one time that he seemed like passive aggressive towards you was like the second time I think y'all came over and I said something about like, yeah, after you guys left, we did this, whatever. Just like, yeah, I didn't want to leave. Gabe wanted to leave. And I was just like, yeah, because Gabe got shit to do. You know, like,
I do have a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I just brushed that off. And I was like, hey, it's normal, like, young person. Like, hey, I didn't want to leave the party, but, you know, had to leave. Like, whatever. So that was the only passive-aggressive or, like, thing I ever got at all towards you was like, you know, Gabe wanted to leave. And I was like, yeah, well, yeah, that's the price you pay.
That's the price you pay being 21 and not having a car.
Exactly. If you had your own shit and you could do your own shit, then, hey, you can stay at the party as long as you like. Unfortunately, you didn't. You had to, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, you know, shit's normal, like, I'm still talking with, like, his, like, boyfriend and girlfriend he got on there. Like, we're always, like, on call on, like, Discord and shit, like, talking to each other. Like, they're doing shit. Like, he's making his fucking... He's a furry artist, by the way. So he's making his little, like... He's making his little cats and dogs and shit on there. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, cool, that's cool. And, like, they're talking. I'm playing Overwatch like it's 3 years ago. Fucking... You know, it's a good time for the most part in my house.
Yeah, solid.
You know, except for the times I gotta be like, because this is also when the weird behavior starts. Like, he's not, like, mean anymore. It's just like he's doing weird shit, like, not bathing normally. And to the point where I'm like, hey man, you need to either, like, put on some, like, deodorant, which he put it on really weird because he has fucking spray deodorant, and he would have his clothes on already, and he'd just spray it over his shirt, armpits. And I'm just like, that ain't how that shit works.
See,
that is specifically not how you apply the deodorant.
It's very fun for me to know that that's still a thing because in the like weird, I found out that all of this drama was a thing in the first place through Twitter call-out posts. Spoilers. That's where this eventually is going.
Yes.
And one of the things they pointed out was like, yeah, they don't shower for long periods of time, and that's like a thing about them. Like they love it. Like they're proud of it. And I was like, that's goofball shit.
That is really
but I thought that was maybe like years ago, like shit.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that was still a cool thing about them. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't smell when they came over here that I remember. Like,
no, like, if we were going out somewhere that we were going to be for a little bit, like, he'd shower, but, like, you know, we didn't go out, like, a whole bunch, because, again, I work.
Yeah, no,
and, like, and I got a family and shit, you know, I gotta be at home or at work.
Yeah, no, it's easy to hide from people that you meet 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's a lot of vibes that I did not catch from this dude.
No.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just like, I gotta remind him, I'm like, hey man, you gotta like take a shower a little bit more often. Like, hey man, like don't leave like your shit all over the place. Like, hey man, like take the dishes back upstairs and everything. You know, normal shit that you're supposed to do like when you're a guest at someone's house. You know, you clean up after yourself. Like, I don't even stay here for that long and I'm trying to fucking do your dishes and shit sometimes.
Yeah.
So just because it's a comfort to me.
Mm-hmm.
and fucking, you know, other than that, it was kind of like, I don't know, like his boyfriend and girlfriend got like a little bit like cagey and like curt with me, and I'm like, whatever, they're white people, they fucking, you know,
what they do, you know
that's
what
they do.
You're gonna get a little mad because you're hanging out with the boy or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They're
I'm
probably
just
you're mad because you can't have them.
Yeah. So, you know, the second time we come over, because I think that was, the second time we came over, like, we were doing some shit. I know he got mad after that. And this is what I heard from my mom later on, because I found out he was talking to my mom. Again, because my whole family lives with me. My mom, stepdad, 2 younger sisters, sometimes my niece. So he was talking to my mom saying, like, telling her that I had told him that she used to, like, beat the shit out of me all the time when I was little. And, like, do all this, like, crazy shit to me that, like, never happened. And, like, it's just weird shit to be telling someone's mom.
Yeah.
Just like someone, like a person you don't know that well, the parent of that person.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of, it's a weird thing to do. And especially because, like, and when I hear it from her eventually, it's like all the stories he's telling her that I said are stories he told me what happened to him as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's a weird, I'm kind of like, what the fuck is...
I mean, that's weird to it's weird to talk about anything a kid said to their parent, unless it's like unless it's some intervention type shit or something. Like, it's weird to do anything like that. That's snitch shit.
Yeah,
you know
if I was
saying?
fucking like doing lines constantly in the basement and shit, like maybe he should tell my mom.
Yeah, but like even if you did say all that shit, why you snitching? What the fuck? Like,
if that shit had really happened, I'd probably get my ass beat. She can't make it down the stairs anymore, so I might not get my ass beat. But,
come get me, mom. Standing at the bottom of the steps.
You can't.
Yeah, just walk past her real fast on the steps when she try to come down. She'll have to turn around halfway. That's gonna take at least 25 minutes.
So yeah, just that kind of weird shit. But where you become involved in it now.
Dave, get me another Truly.
I think Dave's asleep. Oh, there he is. No, so where you come into this is the second time we come over, you know, we have a little bit to drink. You guys are smoking weed because I legally can no longer. I'm sorry, weed. So, and you guys are playing Smash together that he has never played on that, whatever the fuck you were playing it on.
Yeah.
Whatever fucking technology you got in this house. I don't know. I haven't moved past the PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah,
so
no,
I don't know what it is.
Smash Brothers for the PlayStation 1.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, I got that exclusive.
Okay, damn.
The demo disc.
Yeah. But he ain't good at it because he never played it before, so I know you guys were like ribbing him a little bit, as you do when you're friends with their, like, when you're bad at video games.
Yeah, I don't
You rib them, you're like, I thought you were the best at Smash. Like one time, I heard you say that, and then like the rest of the time y'all were just laughing playing this game, and I heard it because I was either in the living room or on the fucking toilet. And it's not a long distance.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, alright, yeah. And then he falls asleep on the little thing, and then like me, Bella, and like Guillermo for like half of it are watching The Witch because according to Bella it's got a fat ass in it. So I immediately was interested.
Yeah.
So we're watching it, and like I look over at him because Bella's like, hey, what's Sen doing? I'm like, oh, he's sleeping. And then we watch the rest of it.
Thank you.
Yes. And you know, he wakes up later, we go home, whatever. I'm like, cool. The next day he gets me up with like, hey man, like, what's up with Joey and his friends? Like, why are they so mean to me? And
we were so nice to him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are you talking about? Again, because I was the most sober person.
Yeah,
So I had the clearest.
So
I had the clearest. And
you
I
definitely know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the,
and I'm
if
just like-
anybody knows.
I'm like, maybe it's perception thing. Like maybe he was too like a little too stoned and fucking just like thought you were being mean to him. And I'm like, nah, man. Like they were just like ripping you a little bit because like that's what you do when you're playing games when you're fucking drunk and high, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm
And,
saying?
like-
We're just hanging out. I don't feel like I ever really said much. I mean, this is awesome coming from a person who literally the first time meeting me walked in my house and called me a bitch to my face. like he was immediately aggressive towards me multiple times, but I never took it in a mean way because I was just like, man, I'm down with that. You know what I'm saying? We're just boys being boys.
Boys being
You know what I'm
boys,
saying? I was like,
absolutely.
hey, boys being boys. I can take some good ribbon. I
Right.
love it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I never thought anything about that. I don't feel like I was ever mean to him.
No, you super were.
Yeah, no, I
like,
don't-
yeah. Like take it from someone who like knows how to have friends.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, this is like a normal friendship, which like his whole talking point of like his hometown is like, yeah, I never had friends growing up, and now after all this shit, I can definitely see why.
Yeah.
So
Every time he would talk about hometown shit or past shit, I was like, this all sound made up to me.
Yes.
This all sound like a lot half-truth type of bullshit to me. So I never paid much attention to it. I was really, honestly, zoning out during a lot of them stories.
yeah, I
'cause
can
was
see
just
it,
like-
the 1,000-yard stare coming over you, and you're like,
yeah, because I was just like, this is just a long story, and they're not telling me anything.
yeah,
They're
it says
just
home
talking.
too many times for it to be a real story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, nah, they weren't mean to you, man. Like we were all a little bit drunk and high and shit, playing video games. It's not a big deal. They weren't being mean to you. Like if you took it that way, they super didn't mean it, you know. And like he's like, yeah, and you were like fucking making fun of me too. I'm like, nah, man. I said one time that you were sleeping because Bella asked me what you were doing, and he's like, no, you were making fun of me. I'm like, I super fucking wasn't. And it just
Yeah.
kind of went back and forth on that. And like he would bring it up like a couple other times.
That's weirdo shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but apparently he told my mom to take it back to that. He told my mom the same thing. He's like, yeah, man, like I don't really like Gabe's friends. Like Joey's real fucking fake. Like I'm
Real
like,
fake.
yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. Like when she told me that, I was like,
Yeah, I'm mad fake. How am I fake if I make fun of you to your face?
when you weren't even like one time.
And I wasn't even doing it.
That one time
But
you
in
said,
theory,
in theory.
that's the reason. How am I fake if I did it to your face? Come on, that ain't fake.
Yeah, so that was like a big point of contention for him is just like, yeah, he's fake because like he was definitely making fun of me a whole bunch. Like he made it sound like you were making fun of him and being mean to him, like because we were there for like fucking I don't know like 8 hours that day.
Yeah.
He made it sound like you were doing that the whole fucking time, and I'm like, you played Smash for like 20 minutes
Yeah.
and immediately went to sleep.
I don't
Fucking-
think anybody was mean to him. I don't feel
No.
like I was ever mean to him. I feel like I was the normal amount of like rude to him that I'm to anybody at a party. You know what
you
I
know,
mean?
yeah.
Just hanging out. It's my house. I'm gonna interrupt your stories and interject with my fun stories on top of your stories. I feel like that's the rudest I ever got was cutting off stories to
Right.
interject with long jokes. But that ain't rude.
No.
Fucking, he interrupted me all the time. I never complained.
That was a big thing too because he would constantly interrupt people doing shit, but like if he was saying something and someone interjected, he'd get super mad that they cut him off. So I'm
get-
like, what are
That
we
makes
doing?
sense now. Yeah, no, he would interrupt all the time. He would always just start talking while I was talking. And I'll just back off because I always just assume that I'm talking too much. So I'm just like, hey, if you start talking over me, I assume it's because I talked over you. So have the floor. Say whatever you
Yeah.
want. So that's how I remember taking it a lot of the time. But there's probably plenty of times where we were both just talking over each other because I refused to back down like
Yeah.
mid-sentence. Like, no, I'm talking.
Yeah, this is my story now.
My story time. And all the stories were fake anyway, so I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, so fucking Key Pizza didn't have to hear that Rhode Island is full of rapers, as you said.
It is a sentence I said.
Yeah, because his whole thing of like being like, yeah, fucking like I grew up super poor, like my stepdad was a big piece of shit, like he and my mom ran a pedophile ring through fucking Rhode Island because it's only 2 miles wide, fucking, and I was just like, in the beginning when I heard that and the story hadn't reached so many levels that it was like incomprehensible and definitely didn't happen, I was like, yeah, bad shit happens to fucking people, like insane shit happens to kids
Yeah.
when like when like dumb people are allowed to
Shit
have
is
them.
believable on the surface, but
Yeah.
a problem that a lot of liars run into is they try too hard to cement the lie with a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and then they're too stupid to remember the lie.
Eventually,
Yeah.
they Metal Gear it. there's too much. They Kingdom Hearts it, as you do on Kingdom Hearts Twitter, and they too many layers, and they reveal their own lie.
It's true. So, that was the whole thing. I'm just like, yeah, like, man, like, so I figure, like, because of, like, his shit, and whatever, like, mental shit he's got going on, maybe his perception of shit is just different. Like, so I'm trying to be like, hey, no, man, like, literally, like, they're just being, like, this is how we are as friends around here.
Yeah.
Like,
Around these parts.
Around these parts, you gotta be real hard in Indiana.
Around these parts, or in Indiana, they'll rip you.
Yeah.
they'll josh with you a little bit.
So, that's how shit is. His girlfriend and boyfriend, I'll just say them by name. Their names are Kat and Caden. Caden
Cool.
goes by the nickname Ooze, which is a really weird thing to call yourself. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, that's some white shit too, so I doubly don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay. So, they're becoming a little more distant, a little more like curt with me, and I'm like, whatever, I don't know them super well, so whatever, they're Twitter people.
Mm-hmm.
So, shit keeps going on. I'd say about, like, mid to late July we're in now. Like, sometimes I go on, like, I got a locked Twitter for sometimes I gotta scream my fucking woes onto the internet. Because if I write it down in a journal, someone gonna come read that shit. Then what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So I'm typing that shit, I'm like, fucking, I got depression, I hate myself, like, all the time. That's literally every tweet on that fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
So, and he comes
Normal Kingdom Hearts Twitter.
Normal Kingdom Hearts Twitter. My friends are my power, but on my own, I'm useless.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, just like Sora.
When you lock your friends out, that's what the locked Twitter's for. It's actually very deep.
Yeah, but I had a couple of them on there because we just kind of followed each other's kind of like locked shit. So like if something was going on, like we saw someone else's shit, like I'm sad, and hop on to fucking Discord and be like, "What's up, man? Like what's going on?" Like friends.
Me too, bitch.
Yeah. So I'm doing that shit, and like he comes to me like late July, and he's like, "Hey, so," because he had been planning to go to this convention in like the beginning, like mid-August, so like a week ago is when he would been planning to go to a convention in Texas, even though he has no money, like no source of income aside from making his furry art, which is really just bases taken off of DeviantArt and like colored in Psy, so
badass.
for like $40. So he had some cash occasionally.
Solid hustle.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah, if you could steal from the internet that well, like I think you could be okay.
Yeah,
then.
fuck it, you're nailing it, dude.
So, he's telling me, he's like, I'm going to go to this convention, and after that, I've decided I'm going to move in with Caden to Oregon.
Solid plan.
Because, he talked to this, like, because Caden works for a hotel, he's like, he talked to his management, because they just got new management last year, they're real low on people, and basically I'm assured a job there. And I'm like, we got like 1 million hotels here. You could have just applied to any of these because every hotel pays you $10
Well,
an
see,
hour.
his boyfriend
Like,
was lonely out in Oregon because he's the only person that's not just passing through. And he runs all the hotels, and so they're like, "Well, listen, you can like change bed sheets."
Right? Yeah.
So which he won't do because he smells.
Yeah.
He didn't even smell around me. Now I'm just going along. I'm just going along with lore now. I'm a bandwagoner.
But the thing is too about the boyfriend was into the whole body smell thing too.
Oh, good.
And at one point, I'm like, oh, you're both freaks, okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, because at one point, Sen had worn the same shirt for about a week and a half straight without bathing or putting on deodorant the whole time, and then he packed it up in a little box and fucking shipped it to Caden.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was
happy to learn that.
Yeah, I had to take him to the post office for that one.
You were an accomplice. You were an accessory to crime.
I was just like, he's like, yeah, I'm mailing this to Caden. I'm mailing Kat her fucking birthday card. I'm like, what? She ain't got any fucking pit stank fucking fetish either.
She got the pit stank fetish. No, she don't get that.
No, she's like rich and from New York City. She don't do like shit. She got like the whole fucking like daddy little girl thing going on.
Oh nice, yeah. He probably just sent her like a little like weed baggie of like dead skin flakes.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him at this point, knowing what I know.
Whatever she wants.
Whatever she wants. Whatever baby wants, daddy gives her, is basically whatever conversation they ever had sounded like.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, alright, yeah. I mean, you and Caden are both into that weird shit, and I know, like, because all the time I would wake up, like, I'm trying to fucking sleep, because I gotta get up for work at 5 in the morning, and I'm waking up at 3:30 in the morning, because this motherfucker's, like, jacking off on the phone with Caden right next to me.
Jacking off on the phone!
Yeah, I'm like, you can't put headphones in, because I gotta wake up to fucking Caden's voice calling you a whore or whatever you like to be called.
Yeah, that's exactly shit for me, dog man. Just in the middle of the night.
Yeah, my eyes fucking snap open. Fucking
jack your shit for me, dog boy.
Yeah, that is exactly like what that shit was, almost to a T. Except if you sounded like a bitch, is what Caden sounds like.
Like a bitch. He sounds awesome. Is that
yeah, whatever. He's like 25 years old and like 5'1", so I don't trust his ass.
Yeah, no, if you're that short.
You got no business saying anything. He also has a whole backstory that makes no fucking sense. So they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, that's perfect. You can intertwine them.
Yeah, like his whole thing is like, yeah, when I was 22, I married someone I had known for 3 months. And I was like, damn. And then it just gets crazier from then on because nothing makes sense, like, with law. And you don't even have to know shit about law to be like, none of that happened.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so, like, you know, this shit's going on. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Caden with Caden to Oregon. I'm like, okay, a little sad about that because I won't be able to hang out with my friend anymore. Like, but you know, as friends, you get a little bit sad when that shit happens sometimes.
Yo, this motherfucker was at my house saying shit like, man, when I leave, I'm gonna miss you guys.
Yeah,
bro, come on. What?
And at the same time, like, that's going on, he's saying, like, I'm gonna miss you guys so much, like, I hope I can come visit, like, whenever I'm back in town.
Yeah, that was the thing, too. He repeatedly, like, many times, he was like, I'm gonna be back in, like, October, and I can come see you guys again. Like, he said that shit multiple times, like, bro, don't worry, I'm gonna be back. And it was like, I was showing him pictures of my future kittens. Yeah. You don't even know how disgusting that is yet.
Yeah, oh, no. Yeah. Ooh, that's a bad one.
You don't even know.
Yeah, so, you know, that whole thing's going on. At the same time, you know, he tells me, he's like, yeah, I'm moving to Oregon, like, all this other stuff. I'm like, alright, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna need you to stop vaguing me and Kat and Caden on your locked Twitter. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because also, I'm old as shit on the internet, so any of this fucking lingo they got going on, I don't know what the fuck they're saying half the time. I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, yeah, like, you're talking about us a whole bunch, and I want you to, like, to not do that. I'm like, I'm super not. I have goddamn depression, man. Sometimes I scream it out on there, but it literally, every time I'm like, hey, this has nothing to do with fucking anybody, because I just fucking tell them. Yeah. Because what I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20, and I got like a mortgage and shit. Like, I don't have time to be talking behind someone's back. Like, if someone called me a bitch, I'd be like, hey, why the fuck you call me a bitch? Like, you know. Why the fuck you call me a bitch? Bitch.
Oh. It just felt good at the time.
So it's like that kind of shit, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I totally, like, misunderstood. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, you know. But then again, I think back on that, I'm like, if the shoe fits.
If you're wearing the boot and it ain't too big for your feet, you ain't chicken?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, shit is going on from then, like, everything seems pretty normal, you know. He's packing up his stuff, getting ready to go, like, I find out, like, Kat and Caden have kind of, like, what they call soft blocking me on Twitter, which is basically, like, you block someone for a second and then unblock them because it just makes them unfollow you.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, like, so they did that to me on Twitter. I'm like, whatever. Again, because I don't know them and they've been acting kind of shitty. So I'm like, alright. And, you know, the day comes, like, you know, last Wednesday. He's getting ready to go, like, I'm getting ready. Actually, there's a little bit more, but reverse that for a second. Because he's got a countdown on his Twitter being like, you know, X amount of days till A-Fest, Anime Fest. That's fucking
I was seeing him talk about it.
Yeah. So, like, every day the countdown goes down. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm watching, I'm looking at that, I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, the countdown ends on Tuesday that week, so I'm gonna go ask my boss so I can have Tuesday off so I can get him on the plane, make sure he's all fucking good, whatever. Tell my boss it's my cousin, because it's what you do.
Yeah, normal people shit.
Yeah,
Kingdom
so
Hearts shit.
I go in, request the day, my boss says no fucking problem, go ahead, you're good. And, I tell him I got it marked off on the calendar, I'm like, yep, we're ready to go. And he's like, oh no, it's on Wednesday. And, it's been on Wednesday, and, I've told you this before, I'm like, you literally have not spoken of the day or date you are leaving, you just have the countdown on. And he's like, yeah, well, it's just something, it's just a thing I do. The way I count down days is I don't count the day I'm on, or the day anything, the thing is happening. Which is the most insane set of words about planning something anyone has ever said to me. Nobody fucking does that.
Yeah, that's
unless
wild.
you are lying, which is a thing he just does. That is what's happening, and I'm just like, alright, I gotta look like a big dumbass, I gotta call my boss, so I can be like, hey, actually it's Wednesday because this bitch didn't tell me the right day, can I come in on fucking Tuesday and just work? And I've worked there since February, and I'm not technically, you're not technically allowed to request days off until you're a year in, but because shit happens and our boss for our department is cool, he kinda lets us do whatever the fuck as long as we're not assholes about it.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, shit happens, just make sure, try to make sure, it's a little, planned out better and everything, just because, I have to inconvenience my whole department now.
Yeah.
And we work at a fucking steel company, so it's a little important that someone is there to do work.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I come back, I'm just like, okay, it's done, I'm taking you to the airport on Wednesday, I had to look like an asshole in front of my boss, so, try not to do that to anybody else, be real about what you're doing. Or you're gonna fuck someone over bad,
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, sorry, it won't happen again, I'll be more mindful. I'm like, good. So Wednesday comes, he's getting his shit packed up in the morning, the last little bits of his shit, he just took all his clothes with him and a big fancy camera and shit. I don't know how he owns that because he never has money.
Yeah.
It's a $600 fucking camera.
Damn.
It's yeah. It's crazy too because he left all the fucking lenses and the tripod and shit.
Yeah.
So you might be getting another early birthday present.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, pawn shop, Facebook Marketplace, one or the other.
Wherever it goes. Dave, I need another Truly. I'm sorry.
How many Trulies are you gonna have here?
4.
As many as it takes.
Yes, I'm gonna keep drinking Truly till we're done.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a minute.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's
Whatever I
rested.
get. Yeah.
I understand this is a story that will bowl many people over.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Especially when we
get.
get, because we're not even at the juicy part.
Yeah.
We're not even, no, we're
That's
not
my
even
favorite
there
part.
yet.
I'm pretty sure that we're pretty.
We are on
deep.
the cusp of it. We are on the day that it happens.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close, but yeah, we're pretty deep into the story as far as minutes go, probably, and we haven't even gotten to the good shit yet.
Yes. So, he gets up, he's packed all his shit, he's getting ready to go. I come downstairs, I'm all dressed ready to go because we gotta drop my sister off at work before we take him, we backtrack and then take him to fucking Midway. So, I'm ready to go. I'm like, hey man, let's get going. I get your bags in the car. Everyone's, my mom and my youngest sister are also coming with just because they want to see him off too. Because at this point, they're good with him.
Yeah, he's lived there.
He's lived there for 3
3
months. Everyone's pretty cool with each other. Unbeknownst to me that he's been saying shit about me to my mother.
Yeah.
So, we get in the shit, and I'm I come downstairs, and I notice one of the blankets off my bed is gone. I got a little Kingdom Hearts fucking throw blanket down there, and I'm like, hey, where's the blanket? And he's like, oh, Vanessa, who's my 6-year-old niece, by the way, he's like, Vanessa took it upstairs. She hasn't been there in 3 days, also, because she started school. So he's like, yeah, she took it upstairs, and this kid, we expect things out of her, because we raise children with manners in my house. So I'm like, she would never, she never does that, and she never would do that. Even if I done something to make her kind of grouchy, she's like, can I have a fucking juice? She still asks for shit. She's never overtly shitty child. So I'm just like, alright, well, whatever, man. So I go upstairs for a second, I come back down, he's got this duffel bag, fucking iron grip in this duffel bag to his shoulder, and he's like, okay, I'm ready to go, and he fucking goes upstairs. And his whole thing is, he's always talked about how, he's, physically disabled in some kind of way that he can't carry things up and down stairs. And I'm like, because I've stolen shit my whole fucking life. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't fucking... this is my circus. You can't be acting like a clown.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
no.
Don't
I
come
know-
in here. I'm the ringleader, cuz.
Yeah. I'm like, no. So I grab his 2 other suitcases. I take that shit up there, and I take like the bags out to the car. You know, I pop the trunk, start putting them in. As soon as like I see that he's not looking, I'm like, fucking unzipping it, opening shit, and like my blanket is like literally just right there on top of it. I'm like, you didn't even fucking hide it in there too. You stole something that I immediately noticed was gone.
Yeah.
And you didn't even hide it within the bag. So, you know, I take it, put it under a fucking seat, zip it back up. I'm like, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yo, stealing shit back is badass.
I'm like, you ain't get to Kingdom Hearts. That's my shit. That ain't your shit.
Yeah, that is
fucking
shit.
casual.
Who I met
Like-
on Kingdom Hearts Twitter.
Yeah, I like his fucking boyfriend Vriska or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I know his man Velveeta.
Yeah.
Vegeta. I know exactly who he likes.
Yeah, so, you know, close the fucking trunk. I'm like, let's go. So we drive, you know, drop my sister off, take him to fucking Midway, help him get his bags out. I'm like, alright, see you later. It's been good having you. He's like, yep, thanks for having me. And he goes down to his gate. We fucking drive home, and I'm like, alright, this is fine. Like, whatever. I kind of get to have my room back to myself again. It's nice. Fucking, you know, I pop open the laptop. I'm like, let's watch some King of the Hill. Something I haven't watched in a minute, but is a staple in my life, just like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, no. Regular Indiana shit.
Yeah, that's all we got. Kingdom Hearts, King of the Hill,
That's
2
all there is
kings.
on here. There's 2 kings in Indiana. Hank Hill and Sora. That's all we got.
So, you know, pop open the laptop, fucking boot it up, you know, and he's using my laptop because his whole thing is he has a broken laptop that he says his girlfriend broke, like, on purpose. I didn't look at it ever, so I was like, whatever. So he used my shit for all his shit. And I pop it open, and the first thing that comes up on the screen after I unlock it is, like, his Discord chats. And, like, the first thing I see, like, timestamped maybe 20 minutes before I had gotten home was his boyfriend Caden calling me, nasty little handicap.
This is one of my favorite parts of the story because I came into this it was after work one night. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm hanging out on my couch, stoned to the bone, just looking at Twitter, and I see like a call out post for Senbei, and I'm like, weird. And then I see, oh, Gabe retweeted it. It's a Kingdom Hearts joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think shit about it other than, oh, yeah, okay, it's a joke, thank you. And then I looked at it. And I was like, oh, it's not a joke. Oh, shit. And that was really exciting for me to learn. And pretty much from there is how we got to here, because I was like, Gabe, I need you to come by soon.
Yes.
And explain this to me. And Gabe said, yes, I will come by soon. And now Gabe is here soon.
Yes.
And I was like...
Literally, this was last Wednesday. It is Tuesday right now.
Yeah,
This is
we're
about
not
a week
even,
in the
yeah,
making.
We're not even a week out from the story happening, and I was like, I need to hear the story from you personally. And when he got here today, I was like, bitch, I need to Barbara Walters you. And that's how we're here.
Yeah, my special.
Yeah.
So, you know, I see that. I'm like, that's interesting. I laughed a little bit because, like you said, who talks like that?
That's the thing that
I'm like,
I saw the
like,
yeah, I saw the nasty little handicap screenshot when I saw the call out post, and I laughed my ass off because I was like, who the fuck says this ever? Like, what a sequence of words. Because it's like, Gabe was always a nasty little handicap. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who just talks to people like this?
And always because this bitch has known me for 2 months.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's what?
Yeah.
And you're in Oregon, so you ain't even been in my house. You don't know if I'm truly nasty or not.
You don't even know if I'm nasty, cuz.
Look, I ain't sending you stank shirts. So, you can decide on your own.
boyfriend, he called people nasty. Oh no! Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even think about it on that level. It goes so much deeper than rap.
So I'm like, all right, like what other shit? Because like I know that's not the only time they've said shit about me. Like
For sure.
clearly, because they've been acting weird.
Bro, you gotta search your name.
Yeah. So I'm like, let's go. I'm scrolling up. So I'm just like, nasty, ugly, like that's the only like 2 words they can use aside like the nasty little handicap thing totally aside. The only words they say are nasty and ugly about me because like, and I figure I'm looking at it and I'm still laughing because I'm just like, first of all, Caden looks like goddamn Minecraft Steve, so he ain't got room to talk. Kat, she's kind of cute.
Right,
whatever, she can have some room.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
good for you.
Yeah, so I'm like, whatever, man, fucking, so I'm going up, I'm looking, and, like, those are the only 2, and I'm just like, it's so hard, it's gotta be so hard when you're a woke white person on Twitter, because, like, you have convinced yourself that you can't call me a wetback. And I'm like, I'm looking for it, because I know they want to so fucking bad.
They were looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm looking, I can see the quakes in their fucking finger strokes on the keyboard. They're like, stick. Beaner. I'm like, let's just call me a taco bender to my fucking face so we can get this over with.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, get it out of the way. Let's be cool.
Also, I heard that's a new one I learned from my mom because that's what her dad, because my mom is white, that's what her dad would call Mexicans as taco benders, which is the funniest fucking thing I think you can call someone.
I had never heard that until you said it. And I was like, taco benders new.
Yeah, that is specifically a 1950s to 1960s thing to call a Mexican, because I don't think I've ever heard it from anyone else.
I've never heard that in my life. Yeah, that's crazy time.
So I'm like, good. I like that one.
Yeah, that's good
I'll
shit.
Absolutely
good
call
shit.
me that.
Honestly, yeah, it's a skill.
It is.
Bending the taco? Bro, I can't bend the taco.
Yeah, it's gotta be in the genes.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably
My
can't
hand slap's so good.
Yeah, see, look at you already. Look at my man on the truck already right now. He's blasting their shits together.
So I'm looking, I'm just like, oh yeah, please. I'm waiting for them to say it. And I'm scrolling upward more because they got their one little group chat that's all between like the 3 of them. So I click over, I'm looking to the one where he's talking to like just Caden. And like, it's all like the same like nasty, ugly shit. And then like, talking about like how he's like, yeah, you're gonna be over here, there's not gonna be any more fucking Gabe anymore, and Sen's like, oh, that sounds so good. I'm just like, and I'm looking at the timestamps on all these, and I'm like, this is all times we were hanging out together, like having a good time and shit.
Yeah.
Like fucking like every time like they're talking shit about me is a time like we were hanging out, or like we and like my whole family were hanging out, like doing something like that he was overtly enjoying.
Yeah.
So I was just like, where are we? Like, what kind of like the Bizarro universe just closed in around me?
Yeah, very suddenly.
Yeah, I was like, because I knew before they must have been like saying some kind of shit because of just the way the like Kat and Caden were acting.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what am I gonna do about it? Like, and again, I got a mortgage. I got more important shit going on than sitting there fucking just like. But what are they saying?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, until I saw it with my own 2 eyes and I was like, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world now.
Yeah.
So I'm going through that. He's telling them, like, he's got all these crazy stories. He's got, like, he's like, yeah, Gabe is, like, withholding food from me. Gabe is withholding medication from me. I'm the one who helped you get on T in the first place because he came with me to my appointment and asked my doctor, and she immediately, because she's the best person on this fucking planet, shout out to my love you. So she takes him in immediately. She's like, yeah, go up to the front desk, make an appointment for 20 minutes, and I'll come fucking see you and we'll get your shit straightened out because she's the best person on this fucking earth.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, I took him to that one. I went and got him his first shit filled. Like, I paid for it to get it filled because he didn't have any fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, I took him to his 1 month fucking checkup, and actually, like, fucking Wednesday, we were waiting for his next thing to come in, and I told him, hey, whatever, I'll, like, fax you over fucking something. I'll mail you your fucking prescription so you can transfer it over to a Walgreens over there because we fucking ran out of time, couldn't get it. So, but I'm purposefully withholding medication from him. He's like, I'm basically malnourished because Gabe, like, never, like, brings me home food, even though there is food already in my house that he can eat.
Bro, y'all brought us food. Like, this is really badass to hear because The first time I think, or the second time I met this dude, Gabe and Sen show up with just arms of food. Like, here, we have a bunch of extra food at our house. So here, we know there's a bunch of you guys over here, take the food.
Yeah, because my mom's like, I know this bitch Joey, he gotta eat more. I'm like, you're right, he does.
Like that's so fucking awesome to hear that he said it. Like,
yeah, it's funny to me this for him, like watching him say he's malnourished, knowing full well he has gained like a bunch of weight.
I was saying that's my biggest shit.
Yeah, he's gained like because I saw him too because like one of my uncles passed away a couple weeks ago, so we were getting ready to go to the funeral, and he's like, oh, none of my fucking pants fit me anymore, so I can't go with you. All I can fit in is basketball shorts. And I'm like, yeah, you can't go to a funeral like that, especially not a fucking Mexican funeral. So, like, no, that's not happening. So I'm like, I know your ass got at least 3 times its size in the 3 months you were living with me, so don't talk about being malnourished.
Yeah.
Like, there's food in my house, like, we've gone to fucking, like, the store and gotten food for him to make because he wanted to cook and shit. Like, you know, whatever. And then, you know, saying all this shit, saying that, like, I was constantly trying to come on to him and everything when I had broken off the fucking.
Yeah.
Like, saying that, like, you know, I was constantly crying, begging him to take me back. I'm like, do I look 13? I know I look 13, but realistically, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? So I'm looking at all his other shit, and I see too, because, again, with this whole being like, I'm disabled shit, he's like, you know, I wanted to get a part-time job because, like, I can't, like, be on my feet for that long, like, I can't walk around that much, like, I walk, like, 2 blocks, and I'm at, like, a 7 or 8 on the pain scale, and I'm like, alright, yeah, like, that makes, like, if that's, like, a thing that's going on with you, that fucking makes sense, whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know what shit you got going on, like, except, all the time, he would walk back and forth by himself, and he's got, like, a cane with him. Never seen him fucking use it.
Yeah, I never saw a
Yeah,
cane.
stayed in the same place in my room the entire time he lived with me, and he would walk back and forth from my house to, like, the little lake park fucking thing we got in our town, and that's, like, a 2-mile round trip.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a little bit bigger than 2 blocks, you know, like, but, like, no fucking problem, like,
Yeah.
almost every day went down there, so I'm like...
Yeah, whatever, but hey, it's your boy. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm like,
do you?
I'm like, if you're exercising, if you're taking it slow, like, if you're walking a little bit, fucking resting, walking a little bit, it just takes you a long time, like, whatever. Because I was always asleep during that time. Like, I was either at work, or I was fucking asleep, and he was fucking doing it. So I'm like, whatever. But I'm going up in his and Caden's chat, and I see that this motherfucker is out at that fucking, out the fucking gazebo, out the fucking lakefront, where people will walk around all hours of the day and night, because that's what we got to do around here.
Yeah.
He's out there taking his whole titties out. He's out there fucking jacking his shit, like, sending pictures of it.
In the gazebo?
In the gazebo. Yeah, with the ducks are in there. Fucking, I'm like,
Ducks in there!
yeah, it's like right there on the fucking lake. Like, it's a fucking, like... Because we got the whole fucking, like, it's just a big old sidewalk that runs along the lake with, like, a fence so little kids won't jump in that shit. Like, and then a gazebo that, like, is on fucking, like, some little stilts going down into the lake so it's just on top of the water. Like, he's in that fucking gazebo where the ducks are always fucking going around it. And fucking, he got his whole pussy out. Like, it's just, I'm like, what are you doing? What? And he did, like,
The whole shit out in front of the geese.
yeah, exactly. I'm surprised one of them bitches didn't come up like fucking like, honk honk, what the fuck are you doing here, man?
Just a real chill, like. I like that version. Like they ain't even aggressive about it. They're just curious.
Yeah,
like,
they're just like,
what is this?
yeah,
What are you doing over here, cuz?
yeah, what is that? Fucking, and I see he's done that not only the one time, because the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, because it was super recent, like maybe 2 days before he left. I'm like, like I've seen that shit before, but like not supposed to right now. Fucking, I'm like, this is weird. So I'm scrolling through it. He's done it like pretty much every time he's walked down to the lake. So like pretty much every other day he's jacking his meat at fucking like 3 in the morning at the gazebo in front of the ducks.
Very fun
And
to
people
learn.
night fish there all the fucking time. So I can guarantee there's people around that he is just pretending are not seeing his whole like ass cheeks out on top of the fucking water.
Got the butt cheeks out on the riverbed. I'm on the shores with my cheeks out, jacking my own shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. I'm going to another chat of his, another friend of his named Day, which is someone he met over Grindr, because literally the second day he lived with me, he made a Grindr account and started talking to this kid who, like, lived in Kentucky. I don't know how he came up on Grindr, like, because Kentucky is more than 5 miles away. So, I'm just like, whatever. And he's talking to this fucking kid, and he's like, now this is where the shit gets kind of gross, because this is the kind of shit that you can sue someone over allegations like this.
This is where it gets gross.
If you thought we were in Gross Town before, we ain't. This is where it gets gross. He's telling this kid that I am basically sexually assaulting him almost nightly. Mm-hmm. Is the verbatim almost nightly. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, I'm just like. But I'm like, I don't even know what to say this because,
yeah, crazy
it's so
town.
fucking, that's such a weird, nasty thing to lie about.
Yeah.
And, like, especially about someone who, like, broke off that shit with you know?
And, like, took you in.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't have to take your ass in, baby boy. Like, especially, like, now I look at this, I'm just like, what the fuck? And then those two are, like, joking, like, about hiring, like, a hitman to kill me, which is funny because neither of them have money.
Yeah.
But, like...
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And I'm just like...
That's more than you got, cuz you can't get that with furry art.
No.
The 10,000, the fucking $100,000 furry art commission. I drew one wolf. And I made $500,000. And that's how I got Gabe killed. In another universe, that's what he's saying right
absolutely.
now. Yeah.
So fucking, and I don't like this kid Dave very much either because he's like 19, and I can't stand anyone who's younger than like 20.
Yeah, if you're younger than me, sorry, you did.
Yeah. And he's also like big into like the weird call me a dog shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, you're like young and also too young to be doing that shit. So I don't know what's happened in your life, kid. Yeah. But it's bad.
If you under 24, you don't talk dirty.
It's illegal. We're in a red state. You're not allowed to do that here.
You're under 24. You still scared, baby boy. Just focus on keeping your shit hard. Don't be worried about shit.
So he's telling Dave this shit. I'm just like, interesting. All right. And then he's saying shit because another thing, he talks about having all these disabilities and shit. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm autistic, I'm fucking dyslexic, like, I got all this other shit going on. And I'm just like, all right, man, like, whatever. And he's telling Dave, he's like, I'm schizophrenic and I have fucking homicidal ideation. And so, like, Gabe doing all this to me is, like, really, like, messing with it. And I'm like, that's insane, too, because, like, people who are schizophrenic rarely have that kind of thing. Like, they're more likely, like... I'm going to come at this from the doctor's standpoint. I almost was a doctor before I ran out of college money. So I'm going to be like, that's a really fucking shitty thing to say about a group of people who are like more like 9 times out of 10 more likely to be abused and killed by somebody than the other way around. Yeah. Like, that's real fucking shady and like shit. I don't like that shit. And then, like, so he's saying that, he's like, and if I killed Gabe, like, they would never put me away for it because of this and because I'm white. I could basically, which is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy town stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, because I'm white. Again, his whole thing, too, is also like, I don't know who my dad is. I haven't seen my dad since I was 4, so I don't know what he is, even though I can see on his Scandinavian fucking face how fucking white he is to the bone. Like, and he's like, nah, I got a big ass and hips, so I might be like black or Latin. And I'm like, that is an insane thing to fucking say and incredibly racist.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to say. And I feel like that'd be a thing he'd say in public.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he would have said that to me if there was any reason where like his hips came into question. I feel like that would be a thing that he would openly tell me. Because that's like about the caliber of things he would regularly say.
Yeah. Just like weird like shit just out of nowhere.
Yeah, weird crazy town shit, and I would just absorb that shit because every time I was ever around this dude, I was just drinking and just hanging out.
Yeah, we were already we were already in the Chris Chan hole anyways. So
that's what's crazy about this shit to me. I was like, I watched Chris Chan with this dude. I watched the documentary. I'm Chris Chan too, baby. I'm about to make a whole documentary.
Fucking, I'm just like, I'm watching this and he's like, yeah, like talk about how he doesn't know if he's white or not, and then immediately going like, they would never put me away for murdering this Mexican guy because I'm white. Yeah. And like, I'm telling you, another white person, and we're both laughing about it now.
And clearly white.
Yeah, yeah, like really, like
I never questioned whether or not this dude was white.
yeah, no, I don't think anyone who's ever met him. Also, he calls himself Senbei, which is a Japanese word for cracker.
Fun to learn.
Yeah, language corner.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I never thought about it. When I first met him, he said his name was Senbei, or you said this is Senbei, and I went, Sinbad? And
Yeah,
like
Sinbad?
the whole first time I met the dude, I called him. I honestly did not know that his name was Senbei until he followed me on Twitter, and I saw his Twitter. I was like, oh, Senbei. I knew it wasn't Sinbad, but I was just like, fuck it, it's Sinbad. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
Sinbad, Simba, whatever ones you can come up
Yeah,
with.
I just called him Sinbad until I was like, oh, Senbei. Okay, that's what he said. I didn't care to ask what he said or anything because I was just like, yeah, whatever, Sinbad, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So like, and I heard that from my friend Madeline, who is like fluent in Japanese, and so she's like, nah, dude, that's like cracker. She's like, you can't hang out with white people anymore, man. This is just like the kind of shit you end up getting into on Kingdom Hearts Twitter with the white Kingdom Hearts
didn't question
fans.
it. I was
No.
just like, fucking people be picking weirdo names. You
Yeah,
know what
I'm just
saying?
like, I also kind of thought like too, like after that, I'm like, you know, he's like a young trans dude, and it's always like either the fucking 3-letter names or like Aiden or like a weird like ethnic name you shouldn't be calling yourself.
That's exactly what I thought of it as.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay, like I get it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is also like makes the other thing later more weird to me because I'm like, there's so much evidence that I know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
yeah. So I'm like, it's just like a weird combination of things. So I fucking like, I whip out my phone real quick, take a picture of the nasty little handicap fucking line. I go upstairs, I talk to my mom. I'm just like, hey, like, I found some like weird shit that like Sen and his fucking boyfriend were talking about me, and like I looked through this other shit he left open on my computer, and like it's a bunch of people saying like weird shit about me, and like I'm recounting all this to her, and she's like, oh yeah, like Sen was up here literally like last night telling me like how you said all this shit about me, about like how I was a super abusive parent and fucking like did all this crazy shit to you, and I'm like, cause like I can't say I got a perfect life or nothing, but like my childhood wasn't fucking like that. Like, you know, like my mom and I, like, we didn't have money for like sometimes, so like we stole shit sometimes. But that's about the worst thing that ever fucking happened to us. So I'm like, and then she's recounting that to me, and I'm like, that's weird because he told me that same shit about his mom.
Yeah.
And then like you were there for that too, how he talked about his mom. Like,
yeah, no, I heard.
him.
Yeah, I heard weirdo stories about his like weird abusive like childhood, which, as I said earlier, I never bought into any stupid stories he told about his past. I always caught like, this is bullshit off of like the first story. But also, like I said, hey, we were hanging out drinking. I don't even care. I barely know this fucking dude. I've met him twice. Tell your bullshit story. I don't know you, so I'm not gonna call you out on it. I can't. But I could just, I was like, this is the vibe of a liar, the air of a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like everything he says just stinks of lies to me. Like, I was like, this is it. I know you're not telling the truth, but I'm not in a position, we're not in a position to even fuck, I don't care.
Right.
It really mattered not at all to me that he wasn't telling the truth.
Yeah, and not until he had started adding a bunch of extra details about like his childhood, and I really started thinking about it and trying to line it up like in a timeline. I'm like, none of it fucking makes sense because you can't fit all of that, and then some of them just straight up contradict each other. So I'm just like, so I'm showing this shit to my mom, like, I'm bringing up the fucking laptop to show her and my sisters, because, like, while he was telling my mom this, like, my sisters are also present, like, hearing that I've said this shit, purportedly, about, like, not even just my mom, but all of them. So, you know, they're all like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm just like, no, like, take a look at all this shit. And they're like, oh, well, I guess the next thing you should do is go through all the shit he left here.
Yeah.
Which is, like, just boxes of shit. Like, he has, like, he just took all of his clothes with him and left, like, boxes of just stuff he never unpacked. So I'm like, alright, I gotta go to fucking work in the morning. I'll come back. You know? So that's Wednesday night. Again, dropped him off at the airport, came home at 4 p.m., and then 4 p.m. to like 12 a.m. was just me like looking at shit and showing my family shit. So I go to work 7 to 3 the next day, come home, we bring up all the boxes from the basement, and we're just opening shit, and it's like a bunch of fucking like anime figurines, like the fucking Supersonico ones that are like $150 each, which like if you're growing up poor, I don't know how you got all them bitches, like because there's like 7 of them.
Yeah.
And then he's got like all these different, like he had fucking like, all in all he had 3 3DSs. And 2 of them were the special edition Zelda ones, like the new Nintendo 3DS with like the gold thing and the fucking shit on it. So I'm just like, I thought you had no money ever. Like rolling through all his shit, and then like there's like letters from like his mom, like postmarked as late as like December of this past year, like December 2018, like letters being like, hey kiddo, like I miss you, like hope you're doing well, like I love you, like contact me a little bit more just so I can know how you're doing, which is weird for a mom who has hated you your whole life. I think. And then like shit from his dad, like who he says to him he hasn't seen since he was 4, but there's like a bunch of shit from his dad, like a bunch of birthday gifts, like a bunch of like other shit. There's a Disneyland annual pass holder thing. Again, weird if you have no money.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's like a little fucking travel journal that was made up for him when he was like 7 or 8, like a travel journal written by like his dad and like what I assume to be a stepmother. And, like, they're like, oh, yeah, this is, like, the week-long Disney trip we took. Like, you know, here's, like, what we did. Here's, like, the autographs. Like, that kind of shit. And I'm just like, this is so weird because, like, he spent all this time telling me, like, how much his family hated him and, like, how his dad abandoned him and fucking, like, all this other shit. And I'm like, it looks like your parents just had a divorce.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm looking through more of his shit, like, and just, like, less and less things are adding up to the way, like, he said shit. So, I'm just like, alright, so I guess what I can do at this point... Also, the other thing I found in there, which is where all the incriminating shit comes in, finally, is a little old, like, Kindle Fire. And I plug that shit in, I let it charge while I'm doing all the other shit, because the whole time that thing's charging, like, me and my mom and sister just going through his shit, I'm just like, here, you want these, like, clothes that he's, like, didn't take with him? And they took some of them, and the rest of them, we fucking Goodwilled them, like, a bunch of the other shit I'm probably gonna sell on Facebook Market, because that bitch ain't coming back to my house.
For sure.
Fucking, like...
That's what I'm gonna say, bro, them anime toys. Phew.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's some good money right there. Free ass money.
Yeah, shit. Leaving a whole backpack full of like expensive like camera lenses and a tripod, because those are the kind of camera lenses and filters and shit that you gotta spend fucking $300 for. Shit. Like, I don't know where he fucking got it from, but it's there. I'm just like, whatever. I'll go fucking pawn that or fucking do some shit with it.
Fuck it.
Because he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I go back, I take the Kindle fucking thing, and I look at it, and the first, like, little app on there is the Tumblr one, so I'm like, what's in this shit? So, see if it's linked to fucking any old thing, and I see it, and it's linked to an old account, and I'm like, okay, it looks like one of those ones, like, when you started moving, like, your Tumblr accounts, and they would just give you a string of numbers or some shit.
Yeah.
So, I go on there, I click on it, and I'm looking at it, and it's a bunch of, like, little text posts, and, like, I'm clicking the notes of them just to see, like, who's doing what, just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because we've already gotten so much shit out of this guy already.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, what else could possibly... Naive me.
Yeah.
What could be worse?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these notes, and all the people in the notes are like, kill yourself. And I'm like, whoa! Was he being fucking cyberbullied? Was there a fucking molecule of truth to anything he said?
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through more, and it gets very specific because it starts saying, kill yourself, dog fucker. And I'm like, dog fucker? Dog fucker. Dog fucker. So I'm like, alright, yeah. So I'm scrolling through more notes, and there are people, like, you know, with their reblogs, like, talking shit about him, because people being like, yeah, who is this? People being like, oh, he's a big fucking bitch, he fucked a dog. What? And then they link to fucking Kiwi Farms, which, fuck Kiwi Farms, but at this point, fuck him more.
Yeah. That's pretty much that's how Kiwi Farms goes. Fuck Kiwi Farms, but also, if I need to know.
If I gotta know, and if it's that bad,
Yeah.
and if there is substantial evidence because sometimes Kiwi Farm is just straight bullshit. It's just a bunch of fucking
for sure.
assholes being like, "Oh, this person's a bitch."
Yeah,
like,
I've seen.
Nothing else happens.
Yeah, no, I've
in
seen
that thread.
they're starting a monthly thread about a person where I'm like, this girl just exists, and you just are mad at her.
Yeah.
Like,
So I click on the fucking thing to it. Like it pops up. It has his legal name on it because I know his legal name.
Mm-hmm.
So. It has his legal name at the top, and then plus a bunch of URLs and like Twitter handles that like are not like familiar to me at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm scrolling through, and it's a bunch of screenshots and a bunch of like links to archived stuff, and it's just like, oh yeah, like this person, and this was taken from years back, and the thread stopped updating in like 2016. So when he would be about 18. So and then like it seems like 2 or 3 years before that is when he was doing all this shit. So between like 15, 16, and 18, he was doing all this fuck shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which includes, kind of like, I'd say normal like internet weirdness, like really liking to think about incest, like between fictional characters and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that's weird, gross. And then like going into like a lot of the really like not safe for work furry shit, which is again like weird, gross, but like
young on the internet, you're on Tumblr, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, you're gonna do what you want to do.
And then it gets to like real shit where he talks about how he can only get off if he watches like real like videos of real dogs fucking each other.
Yeah, I saw screenshots of like an old Twitter where he was just like posting like 5 alpha male dogs take one bitch in heat, and it was literally an actual video of just 5 dogs fucking one dog. And, like, he was just like, fuck, I'm so hard right now. Like, I was just like, yo, what?
Yeah. There's, like, other things of him, like, posting videos of, like, there's one video that went around, like, years and years ago, and I remember seeing it because so many people were upset about it, of, like, this, it was some kind of fucking, like, I don't know if it was SeaWorld or some other fucking sea place. They had a dolphin and like one fucking the trainers was caught like fucking jacking its dick or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like he had a video of that and he thought it was like real hot. Like there were like testimonials of people being like, yeah, he talked to me about how he fucking like jacked a cat off once and like how he got his brother's dog to like lick his pussy and shit.
See,
and
I saw that shit where it was like, yeah, like I saw like a tweet like the pros of living at my brother's house. When he's not home, I can get his dog to eat me out. And I was like, that's crazy town.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently also, I'm just gonna blast into this. Apparently, he put up a video of some point of him with a dog, and he is legally not allowed. Like on the internet.
Yeah, legally
like,
on Twitter.
Legally not allowed on Twitter. Like if he is caught on Twitter, they will ban him off Twitter because legally he is straight up not allowed to be on Twitter because he posted a video of him sexually with a dog on Twitter.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the video other than it existed at one point and that there were legal ramifications for it.
Yeah, like it existed to the point where like he could be prosecuted. I know there is somewhere in that thread talking about how there is an open warrant for his arrest like in Colorado.
Yeah.
Which is where you go to do freaky shit anyways, so it makes but too freaky for Colorado. So fucking there's that, there's people like there's younger teenagers at that point in time saying because if he's between 16 and 18 at that point in time, there are teenagers between like it's generous to call them teenagers because they're like 12 to like 15 and they're always like younger girls and everything, which is I'm like even worse. Like I'm getting worse on top of that shit, like them being like, yeah, he sent me like the dog video when I was like 13 and he was 18 and fucking like shit like that, and him constantly like trying to get younger girls to like date him at that point in time and fucking like going on trips to like visit them and fucking like do shit with them, and I'm just like, it gets worse the more I look at it. And like the deeper I go into the thread, and I'm like, and then they have like, it comes down where I'm just like, yeah, this is crazy, like these screenshots are crazy, like fucking like everything, but then they have nothing to like they don't have the video on there, which like, thank God for one thing, because I don't want to fucking see it. But like, I'm like, also like, I'm thinking like, is there any proof to this? Is there any tangible, like, is there like evidence to connect him, or are they just saying that these handles are him? So I'm going through, and then you get to the selfies, and I'm like, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Because he's got there's some of them that are like, you know, like the not safe for work ones, and there's the spider tattoo he has.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's him, and then it's like clearly his fucking face.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I vaguely for like 2 seconds looked at like the one Kiwi Farms post that was like linked in the thing, and I just kind of scrolled down like, oh, that's wild, that's a lot of stuff, and then I saw the selfie section, I clicked, I was like, oh yeah, that's him.
That's him.
And like, yeah, that was pretty much
That's
it. I pretty much scrolled through it to see that it was like, yeah, yep, that sure is there. And then I was like, oh, selfies, nice. And I popped it, I was like, yep, that's that dude.
Yep. So I'm just like, oh, alright, like, yep. So, you know, I got all that information, again, share it with my mom and sisters. It's crazy my sisters are now old enough to know, like, shit on the internet, because I'm like, yeah, he's got a whole fucking Kiwi Farms about him, and they're like, no fucking way! And my mom doesn't know dick about the internet.
Yeah, Dave didn't know.
So-
When I told Dave the other day, like, yeah, no, there's a whole Kiwi Farms about him, he was like, what is Kiwi Farms? And I was like, it's a bad form.
It's really bad. Like, baseline, it's a bad form.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it can be used for good.
Yeah,
At this
that's
point,
pretty much. I was just like, it's a bad forum, but if you want to know about bad people, might be a place to go. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So, you know, I start texting my friend Mio, and I'm talking to her because she's like a mutual friend between us, and I'm talking to her on Discord. I'm like, hey, like, I'm finding all this shit out about him because I had talked to her the night before when I found all the Discord shit, and she was like, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, she kind of didn't want to like believe it because I think she's known him like a little bit longer than I have. So she's just like, yeah, that's kind of fucking like what? And like, I'm like, nah, yeah, I found this fucking Kiwi Farms thread about him, and she's like, what are you fucking talking about? And I send her the thing, and immediately like, and this is the one like Twitter handle that people like people that I know recognize him by, because again, I just wasn't on that part of the internet at that point in time, and they're just like Todokaras is what it was, and they're just, and she's like, I know who this bitch is, like, this person, like, fucked over, like, a bunch of my friends, like, one of my friends has had to be, like, hospitalized, like, a couple times for, like, the mental fucking, like, bullshit that they put, like, that he put them through, and everything. I'm like, that's fucking insane. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to our friend Reese, another, like, mutual friend of ours, like, I'm gonna talk to Reese about this, like, see, like, what we can do, because I'm like, I'm between the point at that point in time, like, do I make a fucking separate Twitter so I can specifically put this? Because I don't know if I should put that on mine just because of, like, the shit he said about me to the people that we both know.
Yeah.
And the kind of ramifications. Because those are really serious, dangerous allegations to make about somebody. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy town shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable putting that on mine because of, like, the seriousness of, like, those statements.
Yeah.
And everything. Like, so she goes and talks to Reese. Like, I go to fucking bed. And I get up Friday morning to be like, like a bunch of messages from a bunch of people, like people I do know, people I don't know, fucking just inundated in my fucking Twitter inbox. Because during the night, Reese had compiled everything, like all the screenshots from the fucking Kiwi Farms thread, like the link, like little like snapshots of like shit that I was telling Mio the night before about like shit he said about me, like shit from the Discord that I was telling her about. And, like, the whole call-out post was already on there, so I got mutual friends asking me, like, are you fucking for sure this is what happened? Or, like, are you for sure this is his face and everything? And I'm like, yeah, because here's, like, selfies he sent to me, like, mid-May of this year and everything. And, like, a couple people who've met him, like in real life, who, like, went to ASEN or something, like, in Chicago, like, they're like, oh, no, yeah, that's definitely him. Like, that's fucking insane that he was, like, that this person was Senbei the entire time, because like all these people that I've been friends with like somehow know about him to an extent from that old URL.
Yeah.
Like over like Todokaras, they're just like, my friend Madeline like called me at, like on my way home from work, she's like, you had Todokaras in your fucking house for 3 months? I'm like, what are you saying to me? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like everyone on fucking Twitter like knows him by his old shit, and just like, because he never posted selfies, because his whole thing was staying stealth on Twitter, which at this point I know is because people like would have recognized him immediately.
Yeah.
Like his whole thing with like, and I don't have a problem with people like trans people being stealth on Twitter, because it's all about like, you know, your comfort and everything.
Yeah.
And if like that's what you want to do, that's what you want to fucking do. But like his whole thing was like, he's so obsessed with talking about himself that literally impossible for him to be stealth, because literally all stealth entails is like just not saying you're trans and then like never talking about like gender shit ever in that context.
Yeah.
Like that's all you have to do. Like, and he's always talking about like my dick and posting pictures, like a Google image searches of like dicks that he's found, or fucking like has a dildo like halfway in his fucking shorts, like trying to take fucking like bulge pics or whatever, and I'm just like, you're overcompensating, and like people can tell, and if they can't tell, it's because they're stupid or because they're young, or both.
I saw this bullshit on Twitter, which I thought was goofy, but hey, whatever, your business is your business, I don't give a fuck. But the last time that I saw this dude, the third time I met this dude, in my own kitchen, right above this spot right here, at one point he just, and honestly, like, it was out of nowhere because nobody was fucking talking about anything to do with any of this shit. It was just, he just kind of said it, and I don't remember the exact wording, but out of nowhere he just kind of like, yeah, everybody always thinks I'm trans, but actually I'm just a cis dude. And I was immediately like, I didn't say it because, like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're drinking, we're hanging out, I don't care. But I was like, you're lying. Like clearly. Like, clearly you are lying. Like, I am looking at you. Like, I know you're lying, but I don't know why. Right. And I thought about that for, like, the whole week. Like, I was thinking about that for, like, a week afterward. Like, I just think of it randomly, like, did he lie to me about that? Yeah. I just couldn't understand the value of the lie in person. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I understand it online.
Right, online where no one can see and hear you.
I totally get it. But I'm like, bro, you've been in my house 3 times and I've had extensive conversations with you and I follow your online presence. I know. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't understand why this is the, like, I didn't understand why lie about it there or lie about it in general. That was like, there was layers to it. Like, why lie about it in the first place, but also especially why lie about it here where you've been here multiple times and you know no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, like, you already know everyone in this house is super cool about pretty much everything. Yeah. Like, that isn't, like, unlike the thing we're talking about right now, inherently fucking harmful.
Yeah,
like, everyone's cool about
no one gives a fuck about that. Like, it's totally fine. Like, no one believe it. Like, even when you were blatantly lying, no one questioned you because we don't fucking care. Like, whatever you want to feel that shit. But I was like, you're blatantly lying to me and I don't know why. And that was really all that got to me was like, but why?
Yeah,
why
the question of why. And then that's what I've been dealing with since finding, like, the threads and finding everything. Because, like, as soon as, like, the call-out post hit, like, someone else, like, a couple different people made call-out posts. Yeah. And then, like, because he had a big enough online presence that a bunch of people who have bigger followings also were friends with him. Yeah. And they're all freaking out because they're like, what the fuck? I was friends with this fucking person, like, with Todokaras. And I had no fucking idea. Yeah. Because clearly all the shit he's done is like so bad and so well known, and the people like who had heard about it at the time, like, that they would have never been fucking like, there's no coming back from doing shit like that. There's no like second chance like for doing shit like that. Like, you're fucked up. Yeah. You know, until you have like enough tangible evidence, and there's gotta be a lot of it. If you're posting videos of a dog eating you out, that you gotta be like, nah, I'm recovered, I'm changed. Yeah. Like, you know, you'd have to do a pretty good amount to be like, I'm different.
A lot of damage recovery.
There's a lot of cleanup on that one.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're all freaking out. Like, I got a bunch of people, like, I got a ton of people coming to me being like, are you okay? Are people in your house okay? Are your because they know I got animals there. They're like, are your fucking pets okay? I'm just like, and I'm fucking spinning because, like, I've left this motherfucker at my house alone with my dogs and cats, like, alone with my, like, niece, fucking, because she stays the whole summer. So, fucking, like, been alone with my 6-year-old niece, been alone with my cats and dogs fucking all the time. I'm like, I don't fucking know what to think other than, like, I'll fucking kill him if I ever see him again. Like, I don't give a shit at this point. Like, if you want to joke about killing me now, too, because you're white and can get away with it. Cuz. Like, fucking...
We're gonna see who gets away with it.
Yeah,
I'm white too, cuz. I'm white too. White on white crime.
White on white crime. So, I'm just like... I'm going crazy over here. I'm going crazy. All of Twitter who is in the know about it is going crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking, they're just like, I can't believe this bitch infiltrated Kingdom Hearts Twitter, and like none of us were the fucking wiser.
Yeah, I was amazed by just the amount of Twitter content I saw on this, but I kind of tried to stay back from it because I was just like, I want to hear about this from the source. I want
From the person who found the Kiwi Farms thread.
Which is awesome because I didn't even know that you actually found it and started it. I honestly thought that it was just a coincidence that somebody happened to find out they were them.
Nah, I found out
At the
because
same
like I
time.
went through all of his shit that he left at my house.
Yeah, I had
And,
no
like,
idea
it
you were
was,
the one
like-
that exposed it. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, fucking. I was just like, cause I saw the when I saw the Kiwi Farms link like in the notes of like one of the posts, I was just like Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
I clicked on it anyways because like within that URL like his legal name was attached to it. I'm like, I don't know, like he's exposed himself at this point to be kind of a shitty person. Like definitely I think he's like at that point before finding out all the actually like bad stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, he's been a pretty shitty friend like this whole time, you know. And like he's lied about a whole bunch of shit, like not only to me but like to my other friends and to my fucking family.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, let's see what's fucking on here. Like maybe he was a big bitch online back in the day too. Oh, and it was so much fucking worse than what I was expecting. Because I was just like, oh no, he's been like a big asshole. Like he's probably played this fucking like relationship, friendship con on a couple different people before. Because like the way he was talking to me, like to Caden and Kat and to like his friends and shit was like almost to the T. The way he talked about his ex-girlfriend, who he lived with in Chicago, to me, like when he was moving in with me. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, this has been scripted a couple times over.
Yeah.
So, and then it was just, it just blew up into something that was so much more than just like, he's an asshole who fucking like preys on people who will feel sorry for him, to like, he's an asshole with a record of like extreme predatory behavior. Who preys on people who will feel sorry for him. Like, so, you know, that gets posted up, like, all of our friends, like, you know, are confirmed, and, like, a bunch of people are, like, you know, messaging him, because this whole time, like, you know, this is Friday, so he, Caden, and Kat are at the con, you know, in Dallas. Like, they've all been hanging out this whole time, so people are sending it all to fucking Caden and Kat, like, they're tagging them in a bunch of shit, they're tagging him in a bunch of shit, people are messaging him, being like, is it true that you're Todokaras? And he's like, yeah, but I can explain. And then they're like, no. And fucking like the conversation just stops. Like a mutual friend of ours, Mason, like that was literally like the conversation they had. It was Mason just being like, no, and then fucking blocking him. It was wild. I'm like, and he very quickly, because clearly, like, you know, because I went to the Kiwi Farms thing, like, I read all that shit, and then I was the first person to update the Kiwi Farms, like, because the last update before me had been in, like, 2016 or 2017, like, does anyone know, like, where they are? Like, because it's hard to leave the internet when you've grown up on it, you know? And so, you know, and I updated it with being like, hey, I'm his most recent ex-roommate, this is the name he's going under now, this is where he's lived, at least in the past year, this is where he's going, this is where he's planning to go, these are the two people he's dating, this is the shit he's done to me, this is the shit he's said about me, go fucking nuts. And it went fucking nuts. So, like, you know, people are being like, I can't believe this bitch is back, like, and pulled the wool over fucking everyone's eyes for like fucking 2 years. But like, yeah, I'm like, I'm still just like in so much shock about it, and even talking about it now, I'm just like, this motherfucker. Just like, into my house, into your house.
That was like the first thing Gabriel said. We were just like, we had a dog fucker in here.
I'm sorry I brought a dog fucker into your house.
Bro, he was talking about dog dick DNA on the bubbler earlier. It was a good time.
Oh my god. So yeah, like they, you know, both of them have made like their little statements at this point. Like Kat very quickly was like, yeah, I've cut contact with both of them. Though I kind of believe her more on that because she has more shit to lose, because she's like, you know, from a wealthy family, she's college educated, she's got a fucking book deal and everything. Like, she's like, she has real shit going for her. And everything. So disconnecting herself from these two, who are both people who are very okay with having their lives be like
destroyed.
Just destroyed. Totally fucking like mediocre.
Because they got nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, like totally like mediocre like bullshit. Like, because Caden is like the same way. He has like he told us a big story about like his life that makes no fucking sense. And I'm like, none of that fucking happened, dude. Or like, if someone told you that happened, you believe it, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Or if like you think you can make people believe it happened, like I'm not stupid enough to believe that shit.
Yeah.
So those two, I'm like whatever. And then like Caden had his shit like because Senbei like deleted his main Twitter. Kat seems to delete her main Twitter, but really she had just changed her handle. And then Caden had locked his main Twitter, so
lock it down.
lock it down. No one can interact with the shit. And then like a day and a half, 2 days later, he was like, "Yeah, like after the convention, I'm cutting contact with Senbei." I'm like, "Why wait till after?"
Yeah,
so that's
a red flag. That's spooky.
Yeah, like I'm cutting contact after the con, like and I'm gonna take a break from all social media because this is just so.
I'm sorry, I had to pee so bad, but also it's not even my fault. The camera just ran out of space. We didn't have enough memory on the camera for how long we went, so it cut off, but we honestly only talked for like a couple more minutes after it cut off, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I have to pee, and I stopped it anyway, because I also had a feeling we were running out of memory. But we ran out of memory. The last thing you were saying was that the boyfriend or whatever was about to like cut ties or delete some media presence. It's one of those things. They're in the process of trying to cut ties from Sen.
Right. Fucking because we are telling the Iliad of our time,
Yeah.
it is gonna take a minute. But according, Caden made a statement, and he was saying how he is going to cut ties with Sen after the con is over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. That's a weird thing.
After the convention.
Yeah,
like,
after, not like just right now.
Yeah, like fucking send him home now.
Yeah.
Where I don't know where home is. Don't matter.
Don't matter.
You know what I mean?
Get him out
Like-
of there. Fucking, and then he's like, and I'm gonna fucking take a break from social media, just because this is so much, and I can't sift through all of it. And I'm like,
Sift through what?
Sift through what? He's covering his ass.
Yeah.
Like those two are very much similar fucking people. So I highly doubt like the cutting ties on that. I believe Kat, like the girlfriend. I believe her because she has shit to lose. Neither of those two got shit to lose.
Yeah.
So it's just the insanity of the whole thing. And then because people were coming at him on that little post that he made with the screenshot, like with the little camera fucking thing that I took of him calling me a nasty little handicap. And they're like, "Hey, you're kind of a shithead too. You gonna talk about this?" And then there's been no reply since then. And it seems that he's deleted his Twitter because it will come up as user not found.
I saw, because I did look at his Twitter, and I saw like him saying like his little statement, and people being like, "But remember a day ago or whatever when you called Gabe a nasty little handicap?" And I thought that it was funny that those tweets were like under the like thing where it's like you have to hit the like show more button. I was like, this dude reporting all these tweets, you know what I'm saying? He don't want that shit out there.
Yeah, and then I know a mutual friend of ours, David, had asked him about it because he and Caden have been friends for a little bit longer, and at some point I asked him about it, and Caden was going back and forth between saying, I don't want to talk about it right now because it's like too much like bullshit, and then being like, well, you don't know the context of that message.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was talking about this earlier. I was like, I don't even understand what could be the context for calling someone a nasty little handicap ever. Like, I just don't. I don't understand what could be
context is you're a dickhead. Like,
I don't get it.
So that's pretty much where we're at right now. If they have truly cut contact with Sen and he's just stranded in Dallas, which is funny, but like because of what an asshole he is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had been talking with my mom about this because of the size of that convention. And because we all the same person when we go there, we are all the same kind of people when we are at this convention. It would be so easy for him to just lie because
train.
He's done it so many times.
Yeah, hop right onto a new one.
Yeah, that just go by a different name again and say something else. Say a bit of a different story, like I got broken up with and left here. Fucking like whatever he could use to like get his ass under a roof. Like,
it's real easy to manipulate Kingdom Hearts Twitter.
Yeah, as we've seen, it is very easy to tug on someone's heartstrings.
You can just lie to him about anything. Yeah. That's what happened. That's all Kingdom Hearts is about, is a bunch of Disney characters lying to Sora and being like, we got issues, bro. But actually, there ain't nothing wrong.
No. Fucking, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. So, at this point, I'm never seeing him again, so I'm either, giving his shit to Goodwill or fucking selling it.
Yeah.
The shit I can get money out of.
Yeah.
And, you know, moving forward from then on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're gonna put. I know you said you were gonna tag his like.
Yeah, and I'll tag it the Todokaras or whatever. Don't worry.
Todokaras, like his legal name. Should he ever go under it? Because I was talking. You know Jordan.
Yeah.
And everything. I was talking with him recently, and he said it sounds like this is one of those things, and I hate to say it because it's such a shitty thing. But there is definitely, because of the way he lies and because of the things he lies about, he could just be lying about being trans. Yeah. Honestly, if
yeah, like, 100%.
And because of the way he's tried to cover up like his identity in this, like saying he's trans, taking T to change, his appearance even more than his appearance has changed since those like initial selfies from back in 2016.
Because he did look mad different, but it was still like, no, that's
still clearly his face and everything.
Yeah.
So, if the taking testosterone or, if he's even going to have access to be able to take it anymore, because I don't know what his situation is going to be getting it at this point, that could be into it, or he could just be so, clearly something happened to him to make him like how he is. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he's got his own mental shit going on, so it could be like, that mixture of trauma and fucking being so extremely borderline that your identity is literally fucking all over the place.
Yeah.
Or it's just another thing he's lying about. So,
yeah.
I know, Todokaras, Todokaras, government name, that's all gonna be
yeah,
in there.
No, it's all good with me, because I just felt, I was like, I know that I'm gonna hear it because I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, I need to hear it from Gabe, and then we were like, we should film it, because one, it's fucking funny as shit.
It's insane.
It's insane. And that's funny as hell. And two, I was like, it's like a public service. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I am giving you the nice, solid, here you go, 2-hour documentary video. You ain't gotta read shit unless you want to. Mm-hmm. Fucking, it's like watching JoJo and part 5 ends and I gotta go read part 6. If you wanna go read... Go do it. But I was like, man, it'd be so much fun for us to give a really good first-hand account. Because I'm like, we both have it. We both, very different levels, but in a way that makes it even better. I'm like, you have close and personal, I have acquaintance level, and we both recognize where the fucked upness ties in.
Right. Yeah. I'll tell you a crazy thing he left at my house before we end this, though. He did leave his actual birth certificate at my house.
Very exciting.
He left medical documents that have his mother's name, address, and phone number on them. So awesome. I will be contacting her in the next couple days because I have some days off coming up. So I will give Miss Dorothy Thompson a little ring to tell her what a bastard her child is and how awesome. She needs to come get her kid.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, fuck yeah. That's fucking badass. This has been badass. This has been a great video. I'm so excited to put out like a fucking 2-hour long.
If only I had little fucking videos like a true crime documentary that we could just put on and play a little voiceovers fucking over.
Yeah, no, I wish we had the phone calls, the documents, you know what I'm saying? I want to sit here and listen to it on stream and really get down to the bottom of the mystery. This has been amazing. I've made it through 4.5 Trulies in this time.
Truly you have.
Mm-hmm. Been a great time. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.